you with Designer Accessory Adoption. Thanks for watching this video. Welcome back to my channel. Today's topic, I will be talking about vintage handbag styles that are still popular today. I have some visuals that are either in my personal collection or also are available for sale. You'll know that they're available for sale if you look in the description down below. If there's a link, it will link you out to the product page where you can see more photos and pricing information. Some of these items are vintage, some of them are not, and I'll let you know if they are vintage or not. But overall, pretty much, I just wanted to give a visual example, so it just is something else really pretty and enjoyable to look at. So let's go ahead and get started. So first up, if you see me looking over here to the side, that's because I have my little notes propped up so I can remember the little points that I want to make. So let's get into it. So first item up is going to be the Ladylike handbag. And why is it not in my lap? All right, so the Ladylike handbag. So that's going to be the top handle. This style was most popular, and it still is popular today, but it first came on the scenes in the 1930s. You also saw it through the 40s and 50s. It's known for its boxy structure like you see here with this Escada. This is not a vintage item, but just an example. You'll see the handle that is kind of well structured and it's just perfectly placed. It moves a little bit but not too much because you want it to be easily accessible for you to pick up your handbag and not have to search for the straps when you are sitting it down. This one does have bottom feet. Some of the vintage styles may have bottom feet and may not, so that's just something to keep in mind. But the biggest indicator is this top handle style and the boxy structure to kind of give off that classic ladylike appeal. So that is the first style that is a vintage style that is still popular in handbag styles today. So next up on the list is going to be the crossbody. It's going to be your crossbody and your shoulder bag. So I do have a vintage example here of this Coach. It has a long strap, as you can see, but this is going to be your crossbody. So the ones that I think about from like the 90s, like the 80s and 90s Dooney and Bourke all-weather leather handbags. So it's my favorite. I love those. Those are the ones that I think about. These classic Coach styles are also ones that I think about too, with the twist lock detail here. And they came in different versions and shapes. And so this is a vintage style that is for sale, so you'll see it linked down below, but this is an example. So originally with crossbodies, they were originally created to carry coins. And so I think, let me just check my notes here. So it also dates back to 17th century Europe is when this style was first developed. And like I said, it was developed to carry coins. And now it's kind of morphed into updated styles that people are walking around with now, and people wear them as handbags. So it's not just to kind of carry coins around, change, but you know, a lot of other things too. So I like to hear the history and the backstory of a lot of these things. It makes me appreciate them a lot more, and so I thought it'd be interesting for you all, so I thought I'd share it too. So just definitely let me know in the comments down below if you knew that information or if you also find it interesting and or helpful. So next item up on this crossbody and shoulder bag list is going to be another vintage puppy here, and this is going to be a shoulder bag. If you notice here, as I sit this Gucci in this kind of Gucci saddle structure, silhouette shaped handbag in my lap, you can still see the top of my fingers where I'm holding the bag strap. So this will fit nicely over your shoulder, but it's not that great as a crossbody because the length is too short. So this is going to be another great example of a shoulder bag that is also popular. The saddle bag structure is still popular today. Shoulder bags are still popular today in this style. You're also seeing the handbags now where they're a little bit shorter and they fit a little bit closer under your arm like this, where this one kind of hit more at your hip area or kind of close to your hip area. So this one's, like I said, will be a longer strap, but the shoulder bag is a popular style today as well. And no notes on the shoulder style. It was just more so for the crossbody tips, but that is another style that I pretty much group those together into the same category. All right, so next up is going to be the Hobo. So let me just grab that. All right, so I have this one from my personal collection. Oh, and sorry, just to mention the two that I showed just before this, the Coach and the Gucci, both of those are available for sale, so you'll see those linked in the description box. All right, now moving on. This one's from my personal collection. I absolutely love this handbag. It is the Marc Jacobs multi-pocket hobo in the large size. And so the 60s, 50s, that was the big time where the hobos came out. You kind of had that slouchy kind of style, relaxed type of fit with clothing and things like that. So 50s and 60s was that time where you saw the hobo style was born. It originally was designed, one to note is the Gucci, now known as the Jackie Hobo. But when it was originally created by Gucci, it was called the Constance. And it was supposed to be, the style was supposed to be more so a unisex style handbag. So I thought that was very interesting. But as you all may or may not know, Jackie Kennedy was a fan of this bag. It was rumored that she had had several of them in different colors. And then Gucci decided to rename it to the Jackie in honor of her. She's a wonderful style icon. A lot of times when you're looking at some of these older photos to reference fashion and handbags back in the day, Juki, sorry, is what I was about to say. I was trying to mix Gucci and Jackie together, but Jackie Kennedy's picture a lot of times comes up because she was such a big fashion icon. All right, so next up is going to be, let me check in my list, and that's going to be the Clutch. So like I said, next up is going to be the Clutch. This is not a vintage handbag, but I just wanted to pull it out. This is available for sale, so you'll see more details if you're interested. But this one is going to be from Nina Ricci as an example. So your Clutch handbag is something that pretty much the style of it was made so that way you could easily clutch it under your arms or cup it in your hand. I believe the original design of the Clutch was more of an envelope structure. As you can see here, this was not an envelope structure. And when I'm saying envelope structure, it would have like a pointed flap here where you could just kind of lift that flap. And so, sorry, I can't get more words out right now. But this was kind of more of a different little style, but it's still a clutch, right? Because you can still open it. It does have that flap style here to get your essentials into the bag. But this is just more like, it's still an envelope style, I'd say, because it's still long and tall, reminds you of an envelope shape. It just doesn't have the little pointed triangle shape at the top for the closure. But anyway, so let me just check my notes here. Yes, so the oldest dated style of a clutch dates back to hundreds of years. I don't even have an exact year, but the oldest style that is still available, I believe, not available, I don't want to say, but it still exists is what I want to say. Actually was made out of solid brass and it's located in Iraq. I thought that was a really cool and interesting thing to know. I'm sure that bad boy is pretty heavy because it's made out of solid solid brass. Tongue twister. And I would love to see photos of that. I haven't seen any photos yet, but just looking back and doing some research, that's the information that I found, and I thought that would be very interesting to share with you. All right, so last up on my list is going to be the bucket bag. So those enthusiasts out there probably know who I'm going to reference. This fashion house made this bag famous, and they are credited as creating the first one. Let me give you a little visual before I share that info. And so this is going to be my closest thing that I could have in my possession that is a bucket bag shape. And the reason I say that is because of the drawstring style up here that you see. This is a Cole Haan from my personal collection. Obviously, this is not vintage, but you kind of have this softer shape and this slouchy style to it. I want to say a lot of times the bucket bags that are available now have a little bit more structure to them. You're still able to see the shape when you sit it down somewhere, and it's got a little bit more organization to them because I find that either one from the structure of them, it's an open hole, so it's not really organized per se, but it holds its shape. Or the ones that also which I'll reveal who I'm talking about in a second here. The ones that I've seen also on the current market have a divider in the middle, so that way you can segment your handbag and have a little bit more organization to it. All right, so drum roll, that should have given you a couple of hints. I know those enthusiasts out there who I'm going to mention now are going to know who I'm talking about, and that is the original style of the bucket bag is credited to Louis Vuitton. It was dated back from the 1930s is when they first created the Noe, and it was originally created to carry champagne bottles. So I know those LV enthusiasts out there already know that, so that is not new news to you. However, there are some people that may not have known that, so I thought that I would share that. And like I said, it is credited to the original style of being from the fashion house Louis Vuitton that still dominates the handbag market now. So those are my 5 styles that are vintage and are still popular today. Let me know if you have any of these handbags in your possession. Let me know if you have any of these styles that one is a favorite over the other for you, or if there's one you're on the market for. I would definitely be interested to hear from you on your thoughts on those questions that I just asked. Also, I lost my train of thought here for a second. Sorry. Let's see if it comes back. I don't remember what I was going to say. Anyway, so thank you for listening to this video. Definitely let me know if any of the tips that I gave or those interesting facts that I gave was anything that you had heard before. I'd love to know if that's something that I just repeated. I mean, I did repeat it, but I want to know if it's something new that you heard or if you had already known some of that information. That's what I was going to say. So it finally came back. So like I said, thank you for watching this video. Definitely comment down below. Please do me a favor and go ahead and hit the thumbs up and like this video if you are enjoying the content. Also, I'm open to suggestions. So if you have any questions or any video suggestions, please let me know in those details down below also. I typically load videos every Wednesday covering topics related to fashion, luxury. I do throw in some lifestyle topics as well, and I do focus on contemporary brands also along with that, more so on the pre-loved side. Obviously, this is kind of similar to that topic because guess what? Vintage handbags you cannot find on the market anymore because they're no longer in production. That now fashion houses have created like newer styles of these handbags, but you know, some of these versions, like the vintage version is what I'm saying, which would be 20 years plus, you can't find on the retail market and you have to go secondhand. And that is where my passion is. And so that's what I like to have covered in my videos, sometimes with that little twist. Sometimes I talk about new things. But anyway, I am rambling. I am going to stop. Thank you again for watching. Have a good day. And I will talk to you all next Wednesday. Bye.